pros and cons to the Baylor versus Texas State football game. And I'm going to mention this right now. Baylor was without some notable guys: Ben Sims, Christian Morgan, Cole Maxwell, Monterey Baldwin, Tay McWilliams. It sounds like everyone on the offense that's hurt didn't play this game. That missed a game today. Well, they're hoping they're going to play next week. Christian Morgan could come back next week, possibly, but Cole Maxwell might be a longer term deal. And it sounded like Ben Sims had a head injury. Same goes for Tay McWilliams and Monterey Baldwin. But they did take some hits last week, I will say that. I'm going to start with the negatives for the game. 3 turnovers on offense. One of those was a pick by Blake Shapen. And the other 2 were fumbles. One by Craig Squirrel Williams and Josh Fleeks. Blake Shapen had an okay game. 15 completions out of 26 passing attempts, 484 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. That touchdown came right after the following drive after he threw a pick. That's a great way to respond. 0 points off turnovers, which the defense did force 1 turnover. The offense allowed 3 pass breakups in the game. The defense allowed Ashton Hawkins from Texas State to have 13 receptions for 114 yards with 1 touchdown. 4 for 11 on 3rd down offensively. 5 penalties for 55 yards, which is an improvement from last week. It's an improvement coming down from 14 to 5. But I will say the personal foul roughing the passer was a bad call. He was held. Grant Miller got hurt, and the starting offensive lineman got hurt in the game, but he came back to play. But then they took him out and never played again. He barely lost time of possession. 31 minutes and 32 seconds compared to 28 minutes to 28 seconds. You barely lost that. He had one bad kick return one time for 3 yards. And how did this happen, you ask? Craig Squirrel Williams should have not touched the ball. And it should have, because he tried to grab it on the ground, and he bobbled it, and he only ran for 3 yards. It started at the 3-yard line. And that was in the first half. Luckily, in the 2-minute drill, at that time, the offense scored a touchdown later on. Now the pros in the game, 501 yards of offense. That is a lot better than last week. 208 passing, 293 rushing on the ground. Richard Reese had 19 rushing attempts for 157 yards with 3 touchdowns, which 52 yards is long. 8.2 yards is the average. Craig Squirrel Williams have 8 rushing attempts for 59 yards with 1 touchdown. Long is 30 yards, and the average was 7 yards. Blake Shapen had a rushing touchdown today. 3 rushing attempts for 42 yards, including a 35-yard touchdown. On the 4th down, they faked it to the running back, and he ran around. And a great blocking up front helped. There was 11 different guys today catching the ball. Gavin Holmes had 3 receptions for 46 yards with 1 touchdown. Long was 28 yards and averaged 15.3 yards. Josh Fleeks had 1 reception for 45 yards. The offense had 23 first downs. 3 for 4 on 4th down, which is pretty good. The offense allowed 3 tackles for loss but no sacks. The defense allowed 268 yards, which 186 passing and 82 rushing. 4 for 14 on 3rd down defensively, 1 for 4 on 4th down defensively. The defense forced a fumble. The defense had 2 sacks and 8 tackles for loss, which is a lot better than last week, or even a week before, in terms of tackles for loss, 4 pass breakups occurred in the game, including back-to-back by Siaki Ika on 3rd down and 4th down. Four quarterback hurries in the game. The special teams defensively blocked a field goal today. They made every extra point, which was by John Mayers, which I guess they decided to do more Isaiah Hankins. I don't know. Isaac Power had 3 punts for 129 yards. The long was 48 yards, which unfortunately that one of them was a touchback. Noah Rauschenberg had 5 touchbacks on kickoffs, which 2 of them were returned, but only for 33 yards. The only punt return Baylor by Texas State ended up for -3 yards. Jordan Neighbors for Baylor had 1 punt return for 24 yards. So, as you can tell, there's a lot of positives in the game, but there are some things to correct on and get ready for next week against Iowa State and Ames. First of all, you got not have as many turnovers. You got to be better than that, but at least we know how to respond off of a turnover twice, I believe, scoring and falling possession, which is helpful. And the defense did good. It's just, I wish they would have brought more pressure from the beginning. And granted, Dylan Doyle didn't play in the first half because he had personal foul targeting, which, I don't know, that was so good of a call at this point. So, and Connor Drones did go 2 for 2 today for 24 yards. 37 rushing attempts overall for Baylor in this game. Here, that's pretty good. So, there's not terrible numbers when you look at it. Anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later. Let's get into 400 subscribers or more by end of this year. And please, if you're viewing this video, please subscribe if you like the content. I admit the pass defense needs to be better at times as well. I do admit that. And they only allowed 1 big play over 20 yards. Only 1 big play. And that's helpful. While the offense had 5 plays over 20 yards. And granted, there were some plays between 10 and 19 yards as well. So that's pretty good job defensively and offensively. And 2 of those drives on the offense took less than a minute, which is impressive. So it goes to show we could do hurry up offense. And especially when it's like your 2-minute drill late in a quarter, in the second quarter and fourth quarter. So it's helpful. I just want to go into that a little bit more right there. But that's still pretty good.